So the furniture store and then this Cubano's ATL is like a little sandwich shop.
Uh-huh.
I rent to these two people, but the other three businesses I own.
Oh, nice.
So they pay enough rent for my whole mortgage, just the kudzu. So everything else is free. The gym is 14,500 square feet. It's huge. When I bought the shopping center, the gym was like, there was nothing down here. You couldn't even walk. There was no stairs. I put all this in, like everything here. There was no light. There was no lighting. There was no air conditioning. There was no.
So you
plumbing,
built it out.
The whole thing, yeah. I spent $600,000 building out the gym.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're hanging out with Abraham Gray. This dude is an awesome entrepreneur, awesome real estate investor, and we're gonna give you guys a glimpse in the life of what it's like to be with a multi-millionaire. So we're just gonna shadow him today, kind of see what he has going on, and ask him some questions. Now, are you still buying a house a day right now?
So up until October 1st, I was. So October is the first month I didn't buy a house a day. Like literally for the last 2 years, I bought 30 houses every month for the last 2 years until October. So October, I think I bought like 17 homes. So about one every other day.
Mm-hmm. That's still a lot of damn houses, dude.
Yeah, and this month should be similar, 15 to 17. I've already bought, today's only
turn right.
It's only the third. I already put 3 under contract this month. Or maybe 4. I'll show you the ones I put under contract and what I'm getting them for and everything else. So I'm buying a lot more creative deals lately than before. Like when I was buying 30 a month, it was like, 90% plus was cash deals and 10% was creative. Now it's like the last 4 or 5 months, it's been 35 to 40% creative and only 60 to 70% cash. And every month it's changing because people still want higher pricing, and it's just not worth it. Like the market just realistically has gone down 30% across the board. Some areas went down 40%, some 20%, but realistically, every house is worth about 30% less now than it was in June. And people still want close to those prices, so I want to give it to them. So the way to do it is with these creative deals. And the way to do it, with creative deals. So basically, I'm buying a lot of sub-2s and a lot of owner finance deals. Luckily, I buy more owner finance deals than sub-2s. Owner finance deals are a little bit better because you don't have to deal with mortgage companies. And a lot of deals I buy are 0% interest or 1% interest, 2%. So, they're really good deals.
And are these deals that are still being sourced from wholesalers?
Yeah. So I'm going to show you when we get back inside. I have a whole acquisition team. And I have 6 people in the office that work just
go past this light,
buying homes for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most of the homes I buy are from wholesalers. I would say 50 to 60% of the homes I buy are from homes wholesalers. So they're still very important. The problem is most wholesalers haven't adapted to the new pricing.
Right.
So people are sending me deals that 5 months ago I would have bought no problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not even close right now on these. So the ones I'm buying now, I'm buying at what it's really worth today. So some people might think, oh man, you're paying so cheap for them. I'm not paying cheap for them. I can't really sell them for much more than I'm paying,
Right.
I'm paying what they're worth. So over the last 2 months, I could go through all the addresses with you later and show you all the cities and stuff, but probably 80 something homes I'm working on right now. And I have, at least a dozen on the MLS.
You got 80 houses you're working on right now.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, if you buy 30 a day,
right.
You can't turn.
Yeah.
You always have a few months worth of inventory, right?
So your exit strategy. What's the main exit strategy with these houses?
My main exit strategy is to fix and flip them.
Okay.
So what I do is probably 80 to 90% of the homes I touch to some degree. So, I would say maybe 20 to 30% of them I take all the way to MLS, and I make either really nice or I make nice enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then the others I do a very minimal rehab, and I'll sell to a hedge fund or a buy and hold investor. And then there's some where I do somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 worth of work, which basically fixes all the scariest stuff for another investor, and then I'll just sell it to them, let them finish it. Because can't fix as many homes as I'm buying all the way. I don't have enough
Right.
crews.
How many crews do you have?
I mean, I probably have, I could probably work on like 8 to 10 homes at a time, like every day.
That's pretty good.
I mean, in theory, I can do a little bit more because I can send like roofer system, but I'm saying like actually inside the house. I could always do HVAC or flooring or different crews. But yeah, so like obviously I could get way more crews, but I needed them to do the price. I need them to do the quality at the price that I need them to do to make it to where it's profitable. So
Right.
every time I go and get new crews, it's very hard to find good
In 1
ones.
mile, keep right
That,
to merge onto
are a reasonable price.
I-285 West.
So that's what I need. If I can't get them at a reasonable price, it's just then I'm in the house too high and then I can't make any money. So every couple months I find another crew that I could add. And over the last 2-3 months, it's been the easiest actually to find more crews because I guess a lot of people are fixing and flipping less now. So like a lot of people are calling me that never used to call me. That I used to always ask to do work. That now are calling me to do work because they don't have jobs. So it's getting easier. So I'll be able to do more. But it's just having the person to be in charge of all the crews. Now I have to get like another GC that could handle because the GCs I have can't handle many more crews than we have and do it efficiently. So.
I'm noticing that too because we just took down a fix and flip in Jonesboro,
Uh-huh.
and my painter was able to jump on it right away
Yep.
just because work has slowed down so dramatically because of the
Crazy.
market shift.
Crazy. I have so many people.
insane.
And I think it's going to get way worse now because they're raising the interest rate another 0.75%. That's super, super high. Like the interest rates are super high now compared to what they've been in a long time. To raise it another 0.75%, it's going to really, really hurt. So I'm a little bit worried on a lot of the stuff I have on the market because I just saw over the last month or two how much less I'm getting offered for stuff and how much I have to drop stuff. And the interest rate's going up is only going to make it even worse. So I'm being really...
What is your plan if you end up getting stuck on some stuff? Like,
I sell it for whatever I have to sell it for. I mean, I'll take a loss. So this is a very interesting story. So over the last 2 years, I never lost money on any homes. I'm buying 30 a month. And I didn't buy everything perfect. I made some mistakes, but I never lost money up until like three months ago when the market really started coming down 3-4 months ago. Mm-hmm. So the few times that I would have lost money on a home, it was stubborn and wouldn't sell it. And then like 2, 3, 4 months later, the price caught up and I'd sell it because it went up.
Continue straight.
So there was literally, I either made a killing on a home, I made a decent amount, or I was able to wait for it to go up. So now over like the last 4 months, because about 4 months ago is when it stopped going up, I started losing money on homes because the ones that I paid too much for, this is what was happening. Like every home that you can get that's somewhat of a reasonable deal is worth buying because you could either sell it or you could just, if you don't sell it, it's going to go up. So it was worth gambling on buying a little bit more than normal.
Right.
And so I would just buy like a lot of stuff that was like questionable, just thinking like I'll probably make something on it or whatever. And what happened was once the market started shifting, the ones that were super close or tighter, especially in the areas and the ones that need a lot of work, I started losing money on. So I started losing like $5,000 on a few homes and then $10,000. And most of the homes I bought like 85% of them, I never even looked at. I bought them strictly off pictures. And it worked because I was able to beat everybody to it. I was able to close on it. The second I got an email, I would just sign the contract and close. So I was able to beat out anybody. Like no one could compete as far as quick. I never had to look at a house.
Do you think with you being so easy to deal with, that's why people kind of flock to you when it comes to selling their deals to you?
Oh, 100%. I'm the easiest because I just need pictures, and on top of that, I use my own cash for every single deal, and I can close today. If the title's right, I close today. Like I've had literally a few deals where people call me like, oh man, my seller never came to closing. I need to sell this deal. My contract ends, and I close that day or the next day, because the original buyer didn't show up or whatever happened. So I've had multiple deals like that, and
so you've been a savior to a lot of wholesalers.
And I'll wire you the earnest money right away. And if I'm under contract with you, I'm buying it. Like I've never ever gone under contract and not bought a house ever. It's like it's guaranteed if I'm under contract. And probably half the homes that I buy from half the people, I never even send earnest money anymore. Like they don't even care. But regardless, I'm closing on the deal. And if for some reason I wouldn't close on a deal, even if I didn't give earnest money, I'd pay them whatever. But yeah, so it's just easy like that. And now I'm inspecting a lot more homes because the homes that I am losing a little bit of money on now are ones that like people like didn't show me foundation issues or didn't whatever. Before it didn't matter so much because I was able to buy an extra 10 homes that I could beat people out on. So I would have lost, a certain amount of homes if I had to inspect every home. Mm-hmm. But now I'm starting to inspect homes more because I don't need to beat people out because I'm not getting enough good deals from wholesalers to where I have to right away. And
so you got to cherry pick more.
I'm cherry picking more. I'm buying half as much as I used to, right? So you're buying half as much, you can be more careful.
How many businesses do you currently own right now?
A few dozen right now. Some of them, have multiple locations. So I have like bury the hatchet axe throwing. They have 16 locations. I have escape rooms. They have a dozen locations. I have different businesses that have multiple locations. I have a bunch of gyms. There's 6 locations right now. There was 10. I sold some off. I have a couple trophy store locations. I have some ice cream store locations. I have just different stuff like that. So a lot of businesses have multiple locations, and then I have a lot of different types of businesses in all kinds of industries. I have arts and crafts studios that have multiple locations. I have stuff like that.
So how do you identify like the industry when it comes to buying a business? Are you just solely looking at
I look
data,
at cash flow.
the numbers?
I'm looking at cash flow.
Okay. You don't care what the industry is?
I don't care what the industry is, as long as it has cash flow and I have someone that can run it. Those are the 2 most important things.
In 2.7 miles, take exit 24.
And when it comes to somebody running the business, like how are you finding those people and keeping them in place?
Yeah, so when I buy a business, like the 2 most important things are cash flow and having someone to run it. If I buy a business and like the people running it are leaving, it makes the business almost worthless to me because I don't want to have to find new people to run it. So I'm trying to buy businesses that already have the people running it in place. Now there are some businesses I buy where the people running it leave, but I'll make sure that someone else there could step up and take charge and be the main person, or maybe I already know someone that could take that role. But if I don't have someone to take that role, it's very hard to buy that business.
So, the legendary office.
So this sucks.
I've seen this so many times on videos.
Yeah. So these are all businesses that I either own or have owned. Some of them I've sold, some of them I've closed, a lot of them I still have.
So all of these canvases right here represent a business that you currently own.
Or have owned, yeah.
Okay.
Some of them I don't own anymore.
Wow.
But I actually have a few more I'm going to add in the next.
Chris Ruiz told me about that one right there.
Ask a Black Belt? Yeah, I did that with him. That was me and Chris.
Yeah.
We never did a whole lot with it, but.
You own a CrossFit gym too?
Yeah, I owned a bunch. These are all gyms that I bought. Like, remember I said I would go on and buy businesses? So I bought, that was a CrossFit gym. This was a HIIT training. This is similar that's CrossFit Canton. I bought that gym. These are all gyms I bought, and most of them I bought, with no money or very little money.
Where do you feel like CrossFit's going? You feel like it's
gyms are tough business. So the reason why I bought these gyms was because back when I bought into my first gym, it was a gym that I used to train at, and I bought into it. We opened up a couple locations, and we weren't doing good. We were losing money for like the first year and a half, and I was like, man, this sucks. So I bought a program, and that was the program I paid $150,000 for, how to grow your gyms. And I instantly, like within 6 months, went from like losing money, breaking even, to making crazy money on the 3 gyms that I bought into and opened.
I've heard a little bit about your background, your story. It's very interesting. I know you've spoken about you kind of grew up in group homes, right?
Yeah, so I grew up. So my dad and my mom got divorced before I was 2, and I stayed with my mom until I was about 9. And then I moved to my dad's house. And then I left my dad's house when I was like 11, 12, and just went from like foster family to foster family, and then eventually to a group home. And then from there I left and then went to foster family. Then I ended up moving to my grandmother's house in Atlanta. That's how I ended up in Atlanta. So I moved to my grandmother's house, and and I've been in Atlanta ever since.
Do you feel like the way you grew up is what kind of molded you into who you are now?
100%. I mean, that's what molds everybody. You know, when you're younger and what you've done, you know, from when you were little, you know, you just pick up on different things and pick up habits. And yeah, I mean, I definitely would have been a different person if I grew up differently.
I've seen some videos of you fighting. What got you into that?
So what got me into fighting? So I was 265 pounds like 10 years ago. And I got like heavily back into martial arts about that time, maybe 10 to 11 years ago. And the first year I trained, you know, I went from 265 to like 245. And I started getting, you know, good again at, you know, martial arts because I was training. So I wanted to kind of just test to see how I was, how I was compared to other people. And I knew that I couldn't fight at 245 or 240 even. It was just that's heavyweight. People, they were monsters.
Yep.
So the next weight class down was 205. So I just had, like, if I'm going to fight, I got to get to at least 205 to be at, which they're still big, but not as big as heavyweights. So that was just my goal. That's what motivated me to get down to 205 and keep training and doing better. So I just said, you know, fuck it, let's do it. At that point, I was 38 years old. And I said, if I don't fight now, I'm never going to fight. You know, 38's really too old to fight. But so I just got down to 205 pounds for this fight I took, and I fought at 205. And I kind of stayed there for a long time. And then after that, you know, I was like, all right, what's the next weight class? 185. And then I got down to 185 to fight at 185. And I fought at 185 ever since then. So I had 6 fights.
How many days a week were you training?
Every day. I mean, 5, 6, 7 days, you know, depends. But minimum 5, sometimes 7. And, you know, I had the time. And it was fun, and, you know, I was getting better shape. I mean, you just feel like shit when you're super overweight. Like, you don't breathe good, you don't sleep as good, you just don't have the energy. So I just started feeling so much better when I started working out and doing all that stuff. So
would you say fitness has played like a crucial role in you being a high performer as an entrepreneur?
I don't know that I would 100% say that. I mean, because I did really, really well when I was fat. So, but I felt a lot better. And, you know, there's a few things that's really important in life to everybody. I mean, one thing is, you know, having enough money to do what you want. But another big one, if not bigger for a lot of people, is health and how good you feel, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't feel good, it doesn't matter. So, you know, I got to a point where I just wasn't feeling as good as I wanted. And once I started working out, I just felt a lot better. I slept a lot better. I was able to breathe. You know, I had asthma for a long time when I was really heavy, and I had to have albuterols and all that. As soon as I started losing the weight, like, I haven't had an albuterol in 8 years, you know? So, like you said, you start working out. Now you're getting rid of different medications and stuff.
Yeah. What made you buy the place? Was it just the vision or opportunity?
Yeah, I mean,
both?
I went around, and it was off market. I just went around trying to buy stuff off a lot of people, and I negotiated back and forth, and I knew it was a good deal. And then I always try to buy more shopping centers where I could put my own business in. So I wanted to find places to put, you know, like axe throwing and escape rooms, and so this was a good one. What's up? What's up? Good.
How's it going?
So here's strength and conditioning classes and HIIT training, boxing, a lot of personal training. We have the ring for boxing and Muay Thai.
So you got a lot of fighters that train here?
Some, yeah.
Do you guys have a fighting team?
Yeah, but it's small. We don't really want to focus on that. It's not much money in it, but we do have fighters. There's our cardio kickboxing, which is some of the most members do cardio kickboxing. There's like a whole karate studio, like mostly kids.
Would you say this is your most profitable gym out of all of them?
There's 3 that are all close, neck and neck. This is one of the 3. this was the most profitable for a while, but then there's a couple that have caught up. And so what got me started was, I literally collected sports cards when I was a kid, and I started going to card shows, and I saw people buying and selling them, and I went there, and I was like, well, I could sell them. So I started selling them, and then as I started getting some extra money, I was like, wow, this is addictive. It's like I could like do my own stuff. I don't have to rely on other people when I have my own money. And I just figured out ways to get better and better at it. And I went from sports cards to other stuff and buying, selling stuff. That's mainly what I did when I was younger. I bought and sold stuff. Mm-hmm. And then as the times changed, I went into service-based stuff and all kinds of other things. So now I'm in all kinds of stuff, but entertainment, service, buying and selling stuff. Food, doesn't matter. But what got me into it was just seeing that, as you get successful and as you, could do deals, you can keep getting better and better and make more and more and more. And then you just don't have to work for anyone. Who the hell wants to work for somebody? Right. Have to listen to somebody and, have to live with your parents or live with, have someone that you got to rent from. You want to be free. You want to have your own stuff. So I saw by doing that, you became more free and you can do whatever you want.
So what type of obstacles do you face that are the common obstacles that entrepreneurs have to go through?
The most common obstacles are going to be, finding the best help that you could have. So finding the key employees that are good are always the toughest thing to start because, unless you know somebody, and I have so many businesses that I need to know a lot of people because I have some really, really good people, but they're in one business and this business or that business. They can't be in every single one. So every time I get new businesses, I got to, figure out who could be the key employee and make sure that they're good and figure out a way to give them their freedom to be able to do what they want, but also, hold them accountable for stuff. So hiring the best employees is probably, one of the things. And then of course, when you're doing something new that you don't know, exactly what you're doing for the first time, just figuring out, learning how to do as little mistakes as possible, and the mistakes that you make sure they're not super expensive mistakes. Keep them to where they're affordable.
So when it comes to hiring people, are you doing the hiring yourself, vetting the people, or do you have a team that's kind of?
So I pretty much have a team right now. A lot of my partners are more on the HR side than I am, and they are in charge of hiring most of the people. But I do help sometimes depending on the position or the business. The people that work under me, I hire myself. But most people that work for any of my companies don't work under me. They work under one of my partners, so they hire them. But the people that work directly under me, which is very few, those are the people that I need to hire. And whenever I need a new assistant or executive assistant or whatever, I always make sure I'm the one that hires that person.
Gotcha. And do you have a daily routine right now?
Yeah, as far as I get up around the same time every day. I get up, I set my alarm for 8:45 in the morning. I get up, I'm out of the house by 9:30, 9:45. I get to the office, by 10, and then I'm basically at the office just on emails all day, talking to people, and just networking. And then I'm comping properties throughout the day. I'm looking at new businesses, and that's what my day is spent, just looking at businesses and real estate. For the last couple of years, I was mostly looking at real estate and comping stuff and buying stuff. But now I'm switching more to a little bit of more business and still a lot of real estate. But as the real estate market is starting to cool down, there's not as many good deals. So, I have more time to spend on business. And of course, next week I have my big mastermind I do a couple times a year. So I'm focusing on getting all that organized. It's pretty much all done now, but a couple of the final touches I'm putting in there.
Nice. So if you lost everything today, what's the first thing you would do?
If I lost everything, the first thing I would do is to go out and hang around the people that are people that I want to be like, the people that I want to get to their level. So I would definitely network. I would definitely go onto Facebook and find all the different Facebook groups of stuff I'm interested in and stuff that I want to make money on, and go out and find people that are doing stuff where I could help them. And by helping them, learn, and maybe they could help me back to maybe fund different things that I think I have good ideas on. Because if I had nothing, I would need to come up with money. So I would get people to believe in me and invest in me, because they could see that what I want to do will help them as well.
So one of the problems that I have is work-life balance. I think a lot of us entrepreneurs the ones that are married and have kids, we have issues with separating business from family. Do you have those same type of battles, or like, do you ever feel like in moments where you're like, man, like I'm focusing too much on business, I wish I was more of like focusing on my kids? Or
So I have a whole like interesting, story and long stuff to talk about, but really quickly, basically, I kind of have like an ongoing deal with my wife to where, there's a certain amount of time that I'm going to spend with her and the kids, and a certain amount of time I'm going to work and go to the gym, and we just agree on it at this point. But I mean, she's always going to think I spend too much time working and not enough time with her. I'm always going to think I spend, enough time with her, and and I have a good life balance. For me, I feel like I have a really good work-life balance. But again, it's just agreeing ahead of time with, your wife, with your husband, with your kids, with whoever. Communication. Just letting them know like what is, what they expect and what you expect. And basically, if I spent much more time with my kids and with my wife right now than I am spending, they wouldn't be enjoyable time, because I would be like, oh man, I'm missing out on other stuff that I want to do. If I don't enjoy my own time by working out and feeling good, and by doing the business that I know I need to do that will make me feel accomplished, then I'm not going to feel good when I spend time with them. Do they want me to spend more time with them that I don't, they're not going to be quality time because I'm not going to feel great about myself? Or do they want me to spend the amount of time that I feel I should spend with them, but feel really good about everything? When I'm spending time with them, it's strictly for them, and I feel good because I'm healthy, and I feel good because I'm doing the business that I want. So what's more time or more quality time? And I feel the more quality time is more important.
Yeah, it's so true, man. It's learning from people like yourself, and just like getting that kind of feedback is like so important to people like myself, because it's like I feel like I'm still in kind of the beginning stages, even though I started in 2014, the entrepreneur thing. But it's like finding that right balance as the kids get older.
Yeah.
And as the marriage goes on, the relationship grows. It's like, how do we keep everything balanced?
You got to explain to them. You got to talk to them and explain to them. Hey, look, explain the way I said. Look, you want me to spend more time with you, but not be as happy with the time I'm spending with you. Explain it that way.
Yeah.
And you
sacrifices.
You
gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah, and the stuff that that she needs, that if she wants more time, figure out why, and then figure out a way to give it to her in a different way.
Yeah, that's true. So with that, talking about family, like, does your kids, have they said anything about, hey, Dad, when I grow up, I want to like take over the business? Or
they're still kind of young. So I got a 10, 13, and 14-year-old. They're kind of at the stage now where they're like, okay, I want to do business and real estate when I get older, but never were like, I want to take over your business or anything else. And keep in mind, I always have different businesses. So it's not like you're taking over a business. It's just basically, from year to year, I have different businesses. I'm always buying new businesses, running businesses, selling businesses. And, if you talk to me in 5 years from now, a lot of the businesses I have now, I won't have, and I'll have ones that I never even thought of I would have, So yeah. I just like being more creative and more, finding different things. So, but yeah, I think that they want to do what I'm doing. They see that it's a good lifestyle.
All right, guys, so we had an awesome day today with Mr. Abraham Gray. This dude is just an awesome individual, a big go-giver. As you guys could see, there was like no holding back with information. Dude was super open, very informative information. Hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. Abraham, how can they get more information about you?
Obviously, you could hit me up on YouTube. I have my own YouTube station myself, Abraham Gray, Gray, and I post at least 2 videos every single week, along with a ton of shorts every day. Of course, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything. But watch the videos. You'll learn a lot more.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what your favorite part of the video was, and until then, I will see you guys next time.
And you might as well also hit the notification bell so you know every single time he posts more stuff, you see it right away.
There you go. See you guys later.